160, baby. The middleweight's where they at. All right. Fantastico. Listo. All right. Ready?
Yep.
Spider.
We'll take this one right till 9 o'clock because that's when.
That's when you gotta go. Perfect.
Before you leave, take a picture for the gram.
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely. And I'll direct it.
This
to
is
you
his first
quickly.
podcast, guys.
Yeah,
We're parking his
podcast,
cherry.
and we are still.
Pop
Yeah.
catch.
Okay.
I don't know
All
how
right.
y'all do it without just hearts coming out y'all's chest or like coming out your mouth or something.
Yeah,
like that.
whatever it is, it just comes
So
out.
I'm like, all right, think of a topic. Think of a topic. Stay on.
And sometimes you ask a bunch of you have a bunch of questions you don't end up asking because it just conversation.
It's just you talking to your boys. You
Exactly.
Yeah.
At
Pretty
a
cool,
bar or
pretty cool. I
something.
like it.
Just talking boxing.
Yeah, dude.
Indeed. All right, let's do this in 3, 2, 1. EnVivo, long live boxing inside the ring with Manny,
Shawn!
Hopper Dominguez.
Hopper Dominguez, and we still have here Mr. Mark El Guero Vasquez.
El
How you
Güero.
doing? How you doing?
Ding, 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 ding. He's going to help
In
us
the
out for
place.
another weekend of action all the way down from Staples Center. Someone was there.
Who was there?
Was it
I don't know. Is that why he wasn't in the Mikey Garcia
Boo.
promotion card? Is it?
Boo.
That's not a good reason.
That's not a good reason.
That's not a good reason at
Just
all.
tell him the real reason, Popper.
It was a great fight.
Ah.
Errol Spence, Shawn Porter.
Oof.
Wow. Hold on.
Standing ovation.
Standing
Standing
ovation
ovation.
for them. That was probably the best fight I've seen live. As far as professionally being there in person, both these guys just the conditioning they were in, the toughness they showed, the chin that both of these guys have. Shout out to Shawn, shout out to Errol, shout out to Shawn especially for winning a risk it all.
Showtime.
So let me go ahead and clarify this, guys. This wasn't the only fight he saw all year, okay? So, and he's been to a lot of fights.
Yeah.
In fact, not only that, the fight they had in Arlington, now, how did that fight compare?
Oh, wow, the Jose Ramirez
was
one.
it Ramirez Hooker?
That's a great question.
Right,
It just
because
blew my mind.
yeah, because
Cause
that fight was amazing as well. It didn't obviously last as long.
No, it didn't last as long, but for the long that it did last,
Would you say that was comparable, or what was the
very
feeling like?
comparable? The atmosphere in there was electric. I'm talking about the fans. When the fight started, everybody was Team Spence.
Okay.
Towards the end of the fight, a lot of people had shifted over to Team Porter.
They just opened the door.
They
Here we
just-
go.
They
Showtime.
just-
By the way, if you don't know, he's Team Porter over there.
Yes, Team Porter.
I-
Mr. Porter.
I am not Team Porter. If you go back into our podcast, you'd see who I rooted for and what I said about who's going to win, and exactly happened the same way, right? But I just like the fights that he brings in. He gives us action. As a fan, I want to see action. I don't want to see you running around the ring and just trying to win rounds with like 5 to 6 jabs. I want you to come out there and just
Lay it on the line.
Exactly. So I know what he brings, and I know that we talked about it. That was the biggest test for Spence, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think he did such a good job, and he went into his rhythm too. He got into a brawl too in the middle of the ring. I mean, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I thought he was going to run, kind of back up a little bit. No, he was. Let's get it on, even in the 12th round.
Definitely, both guys came out to win though. They both had to reach out for the second win. They both kind of tested the manhood. They both tested everything that they had because I mean they were toe to toe, nose to nose, forehead to forehead, the whole entire fight, action packed in and out.
Indeed.
So as a boxer, how do you feel about watching a fight like that? Because I mean, I couldn't get enough.
Oh.
I was watching it late at night in my room by myself. That's another story.
From a fan perspective, it keeps everybody on their toes. They're like, oh man, this
Absolutely.
is so exciting because nobody backs off. There's action 24/7. But as a fighter, you're really thinking, man, these guys are in shape. You know what I mean?
So you're admiring what they're doing.
Oh yeah, definitely. All admiring. That's it right there.
12 hard damaging
12.
rounds.
12 hard rounds.
Hard ones.
And I don't even think I saw anybody take a step back. Maybe I think it was a bunch
I mean,
of steps forward.
I think
coming around.
Spence was doing the one because Porter kept coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so
no,
he had to
definitely.
take a few steps backward, but not to where.
It was more of a range finder.
Yes,
versus,
exactly.
versus backing out.
Mhm.
So as far as because we had a podcast before, we talked about predictions, what we thought going to the fight. Did the fight surprise you, or
who did you pick to win the fight? I mean, who did you have winning the fight?
who did you want to win?
Honestly, I had Spence winning the fight. And it's no disrespect to Shawn Porter or anything
Of course,
like that.
no, not at all.
to the contrary.
No, on the contrary.
I
gonna see
knew
the
Shawn
game.
Porter is going to be a hard fight. It's going to be a tough fight because he always comes forward. The only thing, the reason why I say is because Spence makes his punches count.
Absolutely.
You know, even though Shawn Porter probably
Mhm.
threw more, and you know he probably hit the body more and things like
A
that.
bit
but
smothered.
yeah, they were a little bit smothered, and it might have looked bad towards the judges.
Mhm.
But every shot that Spence threw was
Was
for a
Indeed.
clean shot,
Clean.
and you know it had a purpose to it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what we were talking about in the beginning. That in the late rounds, he just started throwing punches, all over the place and not really landing. And he got careless, and he got knocked down. I mean, the 11th round. So
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem. That's the problem I always see with Shawn Porter. He gives us a lot of great rounds, but at the end of the fight, he just starts just going crazy.
Yeah, he's looking for the kill.
Yeah.
And I think in this
And
fight
it was
he
kinda
was
even, though.
he was a little more desperate because in the 12th in the 11th round he got
knocked down.
dropped.
Yeah.
So he knew he had to go all out in the 12th, and it kind of worked against him because he was a bit ineffective
Yeah.
in the 12th
Yeah.
round.
He really was.
But I mean, he tried. That's what you want out of your fighters, to go out, go all out. Go, hey, if you get caught, make up for it.
So by the 6th round, do you think it was like by the 7th round? I'm sorry.
By
Do you think it was even up?
Yes, I
Yeah,
thought it. I
3-3?
personally
Yeah.
thought it was through 6. I personally thought it was even
Through six, I had it even.
Yeah,
I
had it even.
in the beginning.
Keith Thurman had it 5-1.
5-1?
He had the first
That's
5
Keith
rounds
Thurman.
for Porter.
He has a
Keith
ponytail.
Thurman.
he has,
Yeah.
he has an agenda or
Yeah,
something.
he's got an agenda.
He's got.
Yeah.
I mean,
He said the first fight. He goes, what do you have? He said he had 5 rounds. Porter. Spence,
5 rounds.
The first 5 rounds.
Well,
He-
we'll
this
see.
is-
Okay, I don't agree with that. So
I don't either.
Me either.
I saw it. It was tied up through 6,
Same here.
and then it was like a bunch of swing rounds.
Yes.
And then like through 9, then I saw us kind of pushing away a little bit. Obviously the knockdown
Right.
in 11, and then I think Hopper, you had a great point. The desperation at the end in round 12, it really kind of showed, and I think that's where the separation
Yeah.
really took
Mhm.
place. If somebody was
Championship
on,
rounds.
yeah, the championship rounds. I mean, the championship rounds. I think that's to me where
Oh,
Errol Spence
absolutely.
really stepped his game
Yeah.
up, and that was another thing that I didn't expect. People talk about I didn't expect this and that, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this. Don't
Yeah.
sit too close
From
to
the
me,
local
Guero.
kid.
But I'm gonna go ahead and say that Porter dictated the pace.
No,
A
yeah,
little more.
He did.
Yeah.
He
I think
did,
it did.
but
I think it did.
Spence had to take that opportunity to step up and was like, if you want to fight at this pace, because Porter wasn't going to slow down, and there's probably no way that Spence is going to make him slow down. Because
Yeah.
No one can.
that's Porter. Shawn
Yeah.
Porter fights at
Yeah,
his pace, and
he's-
that's what
Right.
it is. So
Yeah.
and he did what he had to do. He adjusted to make did his punches, and he won the fight. And I think the knockdown kind of secured
yeah.
the win.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
But you said it. You said it perfectly. I mean, Spence makes every punch count, and that's
Yeah.
important. He trains well. I mean, we knew that. Even
Yeah.
though we love Porter, but at the end of the day, we all knew that Spence was going to really take him.
yeah.
Yeah, and that was another thing too. When where I'm watching the fight in the middle rounds, the fights that was kind of swing rounds. I watched the fight literally 4 times now, and each time it's like I feel differently. 'Cause
Oh,
I
yeah.
see something differently. I saw like, that fight, the punch was actually blocked. I thought that was actually a harder punch, or I thought it landed a little bit more clean or a little bit more flush, and it actually kind of grazed or it hit somebody's glove.
Yep.
For that aspect, I could easily see somebody feeling really either way. I mean, the separation was the knockdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then split decision. One judge had it for Errol. 2 judges had it for Errol. One had it for Porter. Now, and that's what I kind of wanted to touch on there, because I had it 115, 112 Spence,
Yeah, I had that the same way too.
and then you had it for
116, 111.
116, 111.
was
And
me.
that's the thing. Everybody has different scorecards, and I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit. You can't really knock anybody for having their scorecard, especially one that picked Porter to win, because until boxing has a set criteria of what you're judging on, you're gonna have different scorecards. Everybody sees the things that and it's hard to differentiate now between because you get a lot of bad scorecards.
I mean, all the time.
I
We
mean,
saw
we
one
got-
Saturday
we got
night.
one
Yeah, well, you
We
know
saw
about
one-
that,
and
right?
see,
Right.
you don't.
I'll say it.
let's-
I'll say it for you. That was a very bad
bad
scorecard, to be
scorecard. And
honest.
let's keep it real. The sport of boxing, it is what it is.
It is.
There's now it gets so hard to differentiate between if a judge is maybe, I don't want to say the word, but maybe a little corrupt, or if it's sheer judging incompetence, or if it's sheer judging if he has a preference for a fighter. You can, until there's a criteria where we all judge it equally. Everybody's just gonna have a different card.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you said that because
Yeah.
that's a whole
That's a whole nother
whole
topic.
nother topic, but I
kinda
definitely
wanted
do-
to
Oh,
touch
yeah.
on that.
no,
a
but
little
I think
bit,
that's
yeah.
important
It
too
is.
because
It really is.
and I'm glad we have
And
Guero
Guero
here.
from a boxer's point of view.
The thing
yeah.
is also where the judges are sitting. You know, they're all everybody's at the edge of the rings, and maybe this judge sees these inside shots
There
that are
you go.
landing
That's a
and
good-
what's being blocked, and from this perspective, the guy just looks like he's on the ropes,
Like he's
not
landing.
doing anything,
Yeah.
and the
Mm.
guy that's on top of him. So I mean, that's what might kind of sway the judges a little bit, going and looking
Gotcha,
and type of things, and
gotcha.
especially at a close dog fight like they had and things like that. You know, that's why
Yeah.
you can't really go against the judges, but you
Yeah,
can definitely see
exactly,
on
yeah.
sometimes why they have some leeways and things like that.
That might be a topic for another day. You know,
I
what
mean,
can
yeah.
we do to improve
Oh,
the
yeah.
scoring system? or
Canelo
Yeah.
Triple G1. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I know.
Canelo
I
won.
felt Canelo should have went on a wider mark, but I mean,
yeah.
Canelo's my boy.
There you go.
It is everyone's boy, but well, let's not
Let's not go there.
go there with Shawn. He wants to see that.
No, but
triple
yes, back
tree.
to the Errol Spence. Actually, you know what, guys? That wasn't the only fight going on while this Errol and Shawn were in the ring. There was actually a big old brawl in the floor seats where I kind of wanted to. I'm glad I did not sit there. Oh my goodness,
Oh.
it would have been right in the middle of where I wanted to sit.
Wow.
But no, and it started because of a disagreement on who was winning the fight.
Oh.
Yes, and it
Just fans?
Yeah, just fans. Yeah,
Hmm.
just and then fans from LA.
Interesting.
They
Yeah.
just it was halfway through the fight, disagreed on who was fighting, and boom, there was a big old
Yeah. So I have a question for you. We all know what's in stake in the welterweight, right? We know that this is unification. We know there's a lot of possibilities out there. There's the big man from the Philippines, Pacquiao.
Oh.
We got Crawford in the mix as well.
but
But
boogeyman.
but all of a sudden, and I respect the man. He wasn't born there, but he's Puerto Rico, and I respect him. But I feel that he just didn't have no business being over there. What was the crowd reaction when Danny Garcia
Oh,
got on the ring?
let me give you my reaction.
I mean,
to that.
I got my reaction, but I'm just curious to see what.
the fans did. They're just like, who's that guy? What's he going up there for? Like, no, my reaction was like, Danny, get out the ring. Just move out the
what
way.
is he doing there?
Like,
You know?
just I get why they're doing it. It's unfortunate that I understand why he was doing it, but no, as a fan perspective, no, that fight does nothing for me.
Nothing.
I don't want to see.
Why?
He lost to Porter.
Exactly.
Why do I want to see somebody that lost to Porter go in there and fight Spence?
Yeah, I mean, for me, he doesn't have any belts
At all. He
he doesn't.
2 fights removed from a loss to Shawn Porter.
Yeah, he lost to
Exactly.
Shawn Porter.
2 fights ago. Rod
Here's
South-
the thing. Like, to me, he'd be a bad matchup because literally Errol Spence does everything better than him.
Absolutely.
everything. There's
Absolutely.
nothing.
And then
He's
they
just
have-
gonna take
there is
punches.
But they have
nothing.
similar styles. I mean, the only thing would be is for that day he's the better guy. I mean, that could obviously happen. It's in boxing. But for me, as the
I
fan
doubt-
standpoint,
I doubt
all
it.
right. So let's ask the only boxer in the ring. other-
Exactly,
Yeah.
because we just pretend to be.
Right. So I mean, we know he's here. What would you rather see? Would you rather see? Obviously, everybody wants to see Crawford and Errol Spence. Would you want to? Do you want to see a Danny Garcia fight against Errol Spence? What does that do for you, as a fighter?
Honestly, you know, the Crawford fight and the Spence fight would definitely be a lot better because it's 2 technicians at their own
Mhm.
game going at it. But for the Danny Garcia versus Spence, I mean, I still got Spence hands down.
Yeah.
Winning the fight. Danny is pretty wide with the shots. Don't get me wrong, he's accurate and he throws very effective shots. And you know, he's a dog in the ring. But the
Yeah.
only thing is that Spence throws everything straight down the middle, and you know, he doesn't care who you are. Honestly,
No.
Whether what you do or what you are, you know, you saw what Shawn
exactly.
Porter-
Yeah. So
I see Spence walking him down.
I do
Very
too.
early
So
on. Very early on.
all due respect to Danny Garcia and his turtleneck.
For sure.
But
Yeah.
we do not want to
We
see
do
you
not.
fight, sir.
Absolutely not. I mean, it
But
just makes
thanks
no
to
sense.
him, thank you, Danny, for letting me take a picture with you.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
That's important. That's
Thank you.
important.
But still,
Shout out.
Exactly. Shout
Shout
out
out.
to that. But yeah, I mean, I know what everyone wants to see, and I know that Spence got interview, a couple times before the fight, and he said, "Listen, the fight that I really want, it's of course he wants the Pacquiao fight. It's his money, right? It's you're fighting a legend. You're fighting someone that you can match well as well, and I think it's a good opportunity for him. Actually, he mentioned that if he could have fought Pacquiao before he did Porter, he would have taken it, but it just didn't happen, right? But I like the fact that he was very humble and he kind of opened the door to Danny Garcia. He gave him like a little bit, yeah, okay, some of the fighters was like, yeah, dude, sit down and wait your turn. You
I
know
was
what I mean?
wondering why Danny was showing up a lot at the weigh-in, at the press conference. Like, Danny, what's he doing here?
Yeah, so he's quietly doing a press tour with his turtleneck.
Yeah,
shout out.
But it was the whole experience in LA, guys. It was amazing. A lot of the fighters there were pretty cool. We got a chance to talk to Josecito Lopez. Uploaded it on the Instagram.
Nice.
Check it out. Took a picture with John Molina. Actually got a chance to interview both of them, which was pretty cool. Met David Benavides. I mean,
so aside from them fighting over who was winning the fight in the stands and fighting over nachos, which I could relate to, what would you recommend? Was it a good venue to watch the fight in?
It was a great venue to watch the fight in.
Yeah.
Yes, the fans there are. I guess there's a lot of stuff to do in LA.
Right.
But the people that showed up to that boxing fight are knowledgeable boxing fans, and it was exciting. And if the rematch takes place, I don't see why it can't be happening again in LA, or maybe you want to try in the East Coast in New York. But LA was good.
I'm so glad you said that. That's one thing that I wish, and maybe we can go get started on this podcast saying that. Spider, help us out. Let's get a rematch.
I mean, If no Crawford, rematch. Who else? Who else is in the welterweight division that we think can challenge?
Well,
Spence?
I mean, if it's
besides
not, it's
Keith Thurman,
Pacquiao,
all the guys on the
besides,
PBC.
There's just right now nothing that's probably going to interest him.
No,
to be honest.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I honestly don't think Pacquiao Spence is ever going to happen.
No, I think Pacquiao wants it, but I think his team just wants to steer him as far away from Spence as possible. That's why they're looking at Danny and Mikey, trying to get those fights done. The same situation when he was with Top Rank. They were trying to keep. I'm sure Pacquiao wanted to fight with Crawford, but his team said no way. Freddie Roach came out on record many times and said that fight's not going to happen. He's not going to.
It's too young.
Pacquiao wants it. Pacquiao's a warrior. He'll fight anybody.
He wants anyone. Yeah,
but
exactly.
His team around him is like no.
So I mean, yeah. If those fights aren't going to happen, let's
rematch. Let's do it again. Run it back.
It'd definitely be something for the fans to like too.
And I you know what? And I'll go ahead and say it. I think the reaction will be a lot different from fans, Vegas. Is it finally time where Porter's going to get his respect? Where people are going to finally, come out and say they're Porter fans or be excited that he's on the card? Because we went through his record. His resume is outstanding.
It is.
Even in the Spence loss, even in the Thurman loss.
I honestly don't see that fight going on. I think, and like we talked about, no matter how many losses you have, you're going to get opportunities, and that's Porter.
Yeah.
I think Porter will match a lot better with Crawford. That will be a really, really good fight to watch. And then just see what happens with the rest of them.
That would be a great fight.
Absolutely.
And I think Porter would take it.
I just don't think that the rematch is going to be anything different than what we saw on Saturday.
I think
to be
Porter
honest.
went all out.
It's going to be more the same. And then,
let me bring this up though, because I can't see Spence being there at the welterweight division for too long.
Yeah.
He's and he said it himself in a tweet that we shared on Instagram, where he has to. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, that he has to stay in shape. He's trying to lose 25 pounds in camp is not good. And I mentioned that I ran into him at the Charlo Adams fight in Houston. He looked big. And at the weigh-in Friday for this fight, for the Porter fight, he did not look good. He was he looked weak. He was leaning on the wall.
You think he might have been
in a bad
weight
mood.
drained?
Yeah.
Not saying
not completely weight drained, but it was a struggle for him to get there. Well, in contrast, Porter, he was all smiles and mingling with everybody, and
that guy wearing green suits and smiling. And
there was a little they staged a little deal where his family was with the fans. All of a sudden, they appeared over here with the fans, and Shawn goes over there and they start talking. And it was a little hard work moment.
No,
I captured it, put it on Instagram, of course. But but Shawn stays in shape. That's the thing about Shawn. And Spence,
indeed.
So you're saying
he might be in the 154 division sooner than later.
I don't think for the moment though, because there's a lot of things to settle in the 147. And it's the money. It's the money division.
Thing.
It's the money division, and this is I think Spence deserves now to be fighting for big purse. To be honest, I think he's ready for it, and I think that's what he wants with Pacquiao, of course. But he wants to prove
payday
that he's the best of the best. So. We got a few minutes before Guero heads out, but I want to ask you something, and it just kind of changed a different fight. November 2nd, Canelo Alvarez against Sergey Kovalev.
Yeah. Honestly, I still got a Canelo all the way.
Okay.
I have Canelo pound for pound right now.
Indeed.
Really?
I
That's my
don't.
boy. That's why I like this. Guy.
Yeah.
No. Let's edit that out, Spider. Come on.
Whoa, no.
Nah, I'm just
Put
playing.
that in the lead in.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He's a
new intro.
He's a Triple G fan.
I'm a Triple G fan.
Okay, it's 'cause
Shout out.
Canelo seems to impress me every single fight. He's
He gets
never
better.
he's never the same fighter.
Nope.
Any fight, I can definitely see his skill and his experience and everything increase. I mean, and I'm gonna say it here.
All right.
Oh yeah, listen to that.
Oh.
We're
Honestly-
recording.
he did lose against Money Mayweather. You know what I mean?
Oh, for
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
I honestly think that's probably the best thing that did happen to him
Absolutely.
at that given time.
Yep.
For the fact that he got to take and assess this, the situation that he was in, what he can experience, because you learn more from a loss than you do from a win.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think he got to pull that in because after that he came out like a whole new animal.
Yeah.
He trained like a whole different person, and he's been stepping up more and more.
Mhm.
And
He's
I just don't see. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kovlev's a great fighter. He's a great fighter, but I
Dangerous.
just don't see him.
big.
All right.
mean,
So I
huge.
gotta ask this because I am the Triple G fan of the.
Boo.
No, come on, guys. Don't.
I know what you're
Please.
gonna
All right.
ask.
So. Oh wait. I gotta ask. All right. So.
By
Do
the way, I'm a
you-
huge Triple G fan also. So,
Oh.
so it's okay.
All right.
I
alright.
definitely.
All right. So
understand
then now this question makes me happy. Do you want to see a trilogy?
that. You're gonna be mad at me.
Oh, that quick! I take
That
it back.
quick. That quick.
Honestly, I don't see any point. Don't get me wrong.
No,
the first fight that they
Don't
had,
get too happy, sir, over there.
it was a draw, but
Are you sure about that?
that's what they said. I had Canelo winning by 2 rounds.
Okay.
I had a 7-5 for Canelo. Thing is, Canelo outboxed him. He landed the cleaner shots, and Triple G was throwing the shots, but a lot of them were getting countered and things like that. But like I said, judges from their perspectives or their views can change. Now for the second one, everybody said, don't fight Triple G again. And don't get me wrong, at this time, Triple G was probably the most scared man in
Oh, yeah.
boxing.
Absolutely.
And
Well, he's got cojones.
Canelo beat him at his own game. in the
yeah, and they
second
said
fight.
you can't walk him down.
Exactly.
And Canelo walked him down
He
the whole
walked him
time.
down.
Walked him down. He-
Indeed.
Mexican
Indeed.
style, Abel Sanchez and Triple G.
You made
begged
Hopper
for it.
so happy right there.
They begged for it. They said fight us in the middle of the
oh
ring.
my God.
Yeah.
All right,
Canelo,
but-
Canelo
No,
obliged.
so I'm surprised you said that though. And we'll definitely talk about that because we can keep going and going,
Yeah,
but
I
we
know
had to
you
get
gotta
your
go.
take.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and give him the honor to shut it down. So Guero, tell everybody where they can follow you on social media.
You can find me on Twitter at Team Vasquez #1, or you can go to Instagram _Team Vasquez. You can find me there, or on Facebook, it's Mark Vasquez. Don't forget to give these guys a like and a shout out or a
Yeah.
follow.
That's
right.
Live Boxing, that's where it's at. They'll keep you updated on everything.
All right.
We're done.
Holla at your boy.
Long live
Spider.
boxing.